Then I have to say, you know, when Ilhan Omar was sprayed at a recent event with an unknown substance, you said this. Let's take a look.
The bottom line is that I'm looking at this impartially. I don't know what anybody said. I saw the video, and it does not look consistent with someone trying to assault another person, which means I have never in my life seen a person get up, spray something out of syringe at someone's chest. It happened to be nothing, inert. And then she comes after him. You didn't see her back away from him. You didn't see her shy away from him. You didn't see any of that
Brandon,
nature.
you would
and
say,
the guy didn't even resist.
Brandon, you would say, Brandon, you would say the complete opposite if that was a Republican congressman.
That's not true.
So that debate we had then, Brandon, I do think.
Hang on. Officer down.
Hang on. Let me handle this, please. Brandon, the point I would make is, as I said then, if it was the other way around, you would say the opposite, and you have. But this happens from everybody. I get loads of people.
No, Pierce. Let's talk about it. Where have you seen me say anything to the contrary about a Republican or not? You never heard it. Clearly it was fake. Do we not know that was fake? He did not squeeze any type of chemical agent on her. Did he or did he not? It was fake. I knew it was fake when I saw it. What do you mean? You said, when did I know it? Fake. Because you can see that it's fake. Listen, I have done investigations. Let me explain. I'll let you talk, young lady. Hold on a second. I have done investigations so many times in my career. I've investigated violent crimes. I've looked at surveillance videos. I've done this media stuff for a very long time. When I watch her mannerisms and behavior, I can tell that it's inconsistent with somebody that's being sprayed by a chemical agent, which she don't know if it's dangerous or not. No one would get sprayed by something and then try to attack the attacker.
But here's my point.
What do we find out, Pierce? What do we find out, Pierce? What do we find out? I was correct,
Brandon.
I was correct.
Brandon, here's my point. Here's my point.
We didn't find that out. That's
your natural reaction.
Wait a minute. He admitted that it was not. It was like sugar water.
Fine, she didn't know what it was.
Brandon, you're implying to the audience that it was proven that it was staged. No, it was proven that there was no chemical in there. It was not a staged event. You may believe that, but there's no evidence that it was a staged event. That's all I'm saying.
Use your common sense. Why would a guy stand up and commit a felony to put sugar water on somebody?
Because people are often mentally ill.
What is sugar water going to do? Mark Lamar Hill, what is sugar water going to do?
I'm answering you. I'm answering you. I have been attacked at events with people who had powder substances. The powder turned out not to be a chemical. I can assure you I didn't stage it. Sometimes people who are not well do things. Sometimes people do things to intimidate you. Sometimes people do things to create a distraction, as you know, as a security person or as a law enforcement officer who has done security. I'm telling you that just because someone doesn't have a chemical agent with them doesn't mean that the person who was the victim staged it. That's all I'm saying.
It does not. You don't have any evidence that it wasn't staged. I'm giving my perspective based on. Hold on, let me finish. I'm giving my perspective based on what I observed.
You said it was proven.
I didn't just make up.
Right, but you said it was proven that it was staged.
I said it was proven that it was staged. I said it was proven that it was sugar water and it wasn't a chemical agent. I said it was proven that it was sugar water, wasn't a chemical agent, which aligns with what I'm observing when it happened to her. If it was another scenario, because I don't give a flying flip if it's a Republican or a Democrat. If the scenario looked fake, it looked fake. What are we talking about?
A lot of people think Butler looks fake.
Let me say something. What we're talking about is that in the moment, Ilhan Omar did not know it was fake. Clearly, it was a scary incident involving a.
How do you know that Ilhan Omar? They have not concluded the investigation into what did Ilhan Omar know. So there you go.
So you're basically saying it's staged. And here's my point, Brandon.
I'm saying that's what I believe it is.
You have to understand something right off the bat. The moment Piers played that old clip back to Brandon, you could see the trap closing, because this is the exact pattern we keep watching over and over. When something happens to a politician on the right, it's an attack on democracy. It's terrorism. It's the end of the world. But when it happens to someone on the left, suddenly the lawyer hat comes out, the detective glasses go on, and everything magically becomes staged. And Piers caught him perfectly when he said Brandon would say the complete opposite if that was a Republican congresswoman, because that is factually what would happen. We have years of evidence. We have receipts. We have documented patterns of right-wing commentators flipping their entire moral framework based on which party the victim belongs to. What killed me is when Brandon doubled down and said this. He said it was fake. He said he knew it was fake the second he saw it. Think about that for 1 second. A sitting congresswoman is publicly attacked with an unknown substance in front of cameras in real time, and his first instinct, his gut reaction, is to assume she made it up. That's not analysis. That's not investigation. That's pure tribal politics dressed up as common sense. And here's the part that genuinely blows my mind. He kept trying to use his law enforcement background, as if that gives him some special permission to declare things fake from a YouTube video. That is not how investigations work. Real investigators withhold judgment. Real investigators wait for the substance to be tested, the suspect to be questioned, the motive to be established. He did the opposite of that and then claimed his career as proof of credibility. This is the whole problem with modern political commentary. People watch a 15-second clip and feel qualified to dismiss someone's lived experience based on vibes, and when those vibes conveniently always align with their political team, that's not a coincidence. That is a pattern, and Piers exposed it brilliantly.
My point. Here's my point. We've all got to move away. Here's my point. We've got to move past a stage where we view every attack on a politician as
no one believes every attack on a politician. Right? I didn't think Pelosi was staged. I didn't think the Pelosi attack was staged. If it looks like it's staged, then I'm going to say this is what it looked like. And I gave an articulable reason why. Her behavior, her mannerisms, the fact that he did sugar water.
All right, but you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have done that about a Republican politician.
Where's your evidence that I would have never done that?
I just don't
Show
think,
me an example.
I trust the same gut instinct that you trust yourself.
You don't have any evidence, though. You don't have any evidence to say that I would not hold people accountable if they were Republicans and they fake something.
Oh, do you concede that people have rights to question Butler?
I think we should agree.
What?
I think we should
have a right
agree
to question Butler?
I think we should. Let me make my point. We should agree. We should agree collectively that we are no longer going to view attacks on politicians if it's someone from the other side, right? People are no longer going to take an immediate position, oh, it must be faked, it must be staged.
Piers.
And secondly, the jokes about... Wait a minute, Brandon. And jokes about political violence or about Trump being dead and his wife being a glowing widow, whatever, given there have been 2 attempts in his life before that joke was made, should be ruled actually unacceptable. That actually it's not funny, nothing that encourages the idea of dead politicians. I was out the other night at the Time 100 gala and I sat with Senator Mark Kelly and with Gabby Giffords. And I remember when Gabby Giffords got shot and very nearly killed. And it was a reminder to me that political violence, whatever side you're on, is completely unacceptable, and rhetoric about political violence should be completely unacceptable. And I've seen it on both sides.
Here's where I disagree,
and I also think calling out attacks and incidents involving politicians where you take a view because it's not your side, I think is wrong.
Piers, your statement
give me 30 seconds. Give me 30
seconds. Your
seconds.
statement suggests that what Jimmy Kimmel did. Piers, what your statement suggests that what Jimmy Kimmel did was make a joke about political violence. I understand that some of you are making the connection between the two. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't joking that he was that Donald Trump would be assassinated. The joke, once again, is that he's old and she wants him to die. I get the other things that you're saying. I just want to be clear for the audience, the millions of people watching.
That's actually the joke. I actually disagree with you on that because he made a baby Hitler joke.
To be clear, if you want to be clear,
but hear me out. But my point is, Jimmy. We can interpret the joke differently, but he didn't make a joke about political violence.
To be clear, Mark, last time... OK, Mark, one question. Have you spoken to Jimmy Kimmel? Do you know that's what he meant?
No, I'm telling you how I interpreted the joke. I'm saying the joke did not include any commentary about political violence. We're all interpreting the joke, but it would be inaccurate as journalists to suggest that the joke...
You are assuming...
No, as
you are
are you.
Assuming that's what he meant.
As are you.
Yeah. Piers.
But you're assuming
violence against Donald Trump.
Piers, you're moving the goalpost. Piers, you're moving the goalpost.
No,
you're moving the goalpost.
I'm going to say to you.
No, you are.
I'm going to say to you.
This is what I'm saying.
Hang on.
You're misrepresenting my point. You're misrepresenting my point.
Shut up. If Greg Gutfeld,
you don't have to tell me to shut up. You can just. I'll wait. There's a time delay. Okay, relax.
Just stop shouting. All right, fine. I've told you to stop talking, and you refused. Right? I'm still the moderator of this show. If
there's a time delay, Piers, I'm not interrupting you. There's a time delay.
Okay, you are hearing me repeatedly say, "Please stop talking." Correct? if Greg Gutfeld had said the same joke about, say, the Bidens.
Let me break down why this next stretch matters so much. Piers makes one of the most important points of the entire panel when he brings up sitting next to Senator Mark Kelly and Gabby Giffords at the Time 100 Gala, because Gabby Giffords is one of the strongest living reminders of what political violence actually looks like. She was shot in the head at a public event. She survived. She rebuilt her life, and she became one of the most powerful voices for sanity in our politics. When Piers brought that up, he was reminding everyone in that room that this isn't theoretical. People die, people get permanent brain injuries, families lose everything, and the casual way commentators throw around the word staged or fake every time something happens to someone on the other team is genuinely dangerous. And then Mark made a point that I think a lot of people are missing when he said the Kimmel joke did not include any commentary about political violence. He was being precise. He wasn't defending every joke ever made. He was correcting the factual claim that the joke was about an assassination. The joke was about a marriage. It was a marriage joke. You can find it tasteless. You can hate it. You can think comedians need to read the room better. But pretending it was a call for violence is just dishonest. And here is what people don't realize about why this matters. When you blur the line between offensive comedy and incitement to violence, you give politicians a tool to silence anyone they don't like. That's the actual slippery slope. That's how authoritarian regimes start. They start by treating jokes like crimes. Then Piers landed the hammer with the Greg Gutfeld point. He basically said, be honest. If a conservative comedian had made the same joke about the other side, you would not be sitting here defending free speech. You would be calling for him to be fired. And that is just true. We've all seen it. The standards flip the second the team changes, and that's the rot at the center of so much of this discourse.
I don't think you'd have raced to defend the comedian in the way that you're racing to defend Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think any of it is acceptable. Stop joking about politicians dying or being killed. Stop questioning and querying that they're staged when they're obviously not. And stop glorifying in rhetoric political violence at all. I think they would be three really good starting places for how we try to move on from what happened in Washington.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me respond now. May I now respond, Piers?
Okay, then I want to talk about Gutfeld.
Yes.
You move, when I say you move the goalpost, my point wasn't that my interpretation of the joke was right and your interpretation of the joke was wrong. What I'm saying is, as a matter of fact, the joke did not include a reference to political violence. You're saying that that's how you took it. I'm saying I didn't take it that way. I'm okay with either interpretation, but I was simply correcting you as a matter of fact that the joke didn't include political violence. Number two, I worked on Red Eye at Fox News. No. I worked on Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld for years on Fox News, and we made numerous jokes about Obama, some of which included jokes about the first black president being shot. So again, you are objectively wrong. So I'm going to ask you, now that I have corrected the record and shown you that I've worked with Greg Gutfeld on Red Eye at Fox News and that we made jokes about Obama dying that were made by me, can you at least acknowledge that you're wrong?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also said that protesters should have their names
and on that bombshell
released online and
on that dramatic
their lives
on that wait a minute on that dramatic bombshell we have sadly run out of time.
Oh man, this ending, this is the moment of the entire panel, because Mark Lamont Hill set up a trap so perfect, so airtight, that Jack literally had no choice but to surrender on live television. Mark said this. He said he worked on Red Eye at Fox News with Greg Gutfeld for years, and they made numerous jokes about a previous Democratic president, including jokes about him being shot. And then he turned it directly on Jack and asked, "Can you at least acknowledge that you are wrong?" And Jack had one word he could say without humiliating himself further. Yes. That single yes is one of the most satisfying admissions you will ever see on cable television, because it shatters the entire premise that one side of the political spectrum holds a monopoly on dangerous comedy. Edgy political humor has been a tradition in American media for decades. Saturday Night Live built its empire on it. Late night television built its empire on it. Even Fox News had its own edgy late-night show doing the exact same thing Mark just described. And here is something worth knowing for context. Political satire targeting sitting leaders goes back hundreds of years. In the 1700s, British cartoonists drew kings as donkeys, as pigs, as monsters. Mark Twain mocked presidents savagely in print. Will Rogers built an entire career roasting Washington from the stage. Comedians making sharp jokes about powerful people is not new. It's not a left-wing invention. It's a tradition older than the country itself. So when commentators try to pin every act of political violence on a single comedian's monologue, they are not just being intellectually dishonest. They are rewriting history. They are pretending an entire tradition of American humor doesn't exist because acknowledging it would force them to admit their team has done the exact same thing. That's why Mark's mic drop hit so hard. He didn't yell, he didn't grandstand, he just brought the receipts, and when you bring receipts in a debate, the other side has nowhere to go. So what do you guys think of this? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.